Guys, welcome back. Thank you everyone for joining. Today I'll just take you through a basic introduction to Git, and I think by the end of this session you'll be able to understand what version control is, what Git is, why we use Git, and anything, just the basic things you need to know about Git. So anyway, my name is Feni Nyaich and I'm a web developer, technical writer, and I also contribute to open source. So that is what you expect from this channel is basically programming tips and tricks and also some projects. So if that is something you like, be sure that you keep in touch and let me know what you're basically interested in. So Git is basically a version control. It's like it allows a developer to track changes in their code. It allows developer to manage the versions of their projects. It's a distribution version control system. It's like one of the most popular tools for this purpose. And at least if you're looking into the development field, you're going to encounter Git. And then we mentioned that a version control is basically a system that records changes to files over time so that you can recall the specific versions, and also it allows multiple people to work on a project simultaneously without having lose or of any changes that is made. Basically, it just keeps a history of all the changes that you do to a given project. And so that brings a question like, why do we use Git in this case? It's just one of the version control systems, and one of the reason we use it is because it's a distributed system. Every user has a complete copy of their own repository. Every user has their own history. So it's distributed with everyone working within the team. And then also you're able to branch and merge. Git supports multiple branches and easy to merge all the different parts of the code, chunks of code that has been built by the different people working in the team or different developers. Then also we talk about the speed. It's designed to handle large projects efficiently. So that means you can put your work on Git and deploy it immediately as well. Also, we speak about the security of Git. It uses a cryptographic method to ensure that your data is safe, So I'll take you through how you can set up Git. Before you start using Git, you need to install it on your computer. And to do that, you just go to Git SCM and then download Git. Now, I have a separate video on how to install Git, which I will put maybe in the chat. You check it out on a step-by-step guide because right now I already have it on my computer. So you want to make sure that you have Git set up. And if you're installing it on Windows, the installation process is just simple. You just go and download it from this website, as I mentioned, Git SCM download, and then you run the installer. You follow the instructions to install it. I'll still link the guide in the video chat. And then after that, you're just going to set up Bash. If you're using Mac OS, there's a different method of installing Git, which is listed here. And then also if you're using Linux, you can use sudo and install Git from your command line. So after installing Git, you want to make sure that you configure it. So to configure Git, you use the command git config global username, global.username, and then you put your you put your name, your GitHub name here, and then also your email address here. Then you configure Git. This is a one-time configuration thing, so you don't have to keep doing it time and again. Then there are some basic Git commands you need to know, guys, and this is just pretty simple. For example, things like Git init, this one will create for you a new Git repository. I'm going to do an example after this presentation so you can follow along what I've been talking about. And then you can clone a repository. That is, if you already have a repository created from your GitHub, you copy the repository, then you clone it on your computer. Then you can check every status of your commits using the command git status in your terminal. Now there's what we call adding changes in Git. So you can make changes to your files, you can do everything you want to your file, and then to just add it, you can just do git add and then the file name of what you've added. Or if there are so many files that you've added with so many changes that you want to push back to GitHub, or that you want Git to track, you can just use git add, then space, there is a dot below the add, you can see there is a dot right here. So you can just do git add dot. It will add all the files, it will start tracking all the files. Then committing changes. Every time you add a file for Git to track, you need to be sure that you commit the changes. And to do that, you'll have to use the command git commit -m, that is the message, and then you write your commit message right there. So you can view your commit history by just putting in git log, and that is all. It will show you all the things, all the changes that you've made and everything. So now there is what we call branching and merging. Once you have completed working on a branch, you can merge it back to the main branch. And first, when you have to create a branch, you have to use the command git branch and then the name of the branch. Git branch and then the branch name. So if I'm working with a branch dev, I can just say git branch dev, it will create that command. And then when I am switching, I'll just use git checkout and then branch name. Then when I'm merging branches, you can just switch to the main branch and then you check out, merge the under branch by just using git merge branch name. And then let's talk about pushing and pulling. Okay, pushing your code to Git, that is where you have to put to GitHub rather. It's basically about sharing your changes to others and put it in the remote repository. And to do the push, you need to just do git push and then to the branch name or to the branch you're currently working on. And if you're pushing, you just do git push. To fetch and pull, before you pull any change, you need to first pull it. So you git pull and then you make changes and then put it back. Now, this is how you create a new repository. You have to initialize it by just doing git init. You can create a project on your desktop everywhere and then just do git init. Then create a file and commit. This is an example that I'm going to show you, and then create and switch a new branch. Then after, you can merge the branches into the main branch by just using git checkout main or git merge to the branch that you're working on. Right, so you can push changes by just using git push. That is all. So now this is the end of our repository. This is the end of the presentation. So let me take you back a little bit practically. So I'll just close this. Right. Okay, so now you can see I am here on my desktop. So the first thing is we are going to create a Git repository. And let me first show you, first thing is, let me show you Git. To be sure that Git is installed on my PC. So there is a Git bash here. So Git bash is basically a command line for Git. So I'll just do cd desktop. So I am now on the desktop, and then I'll create a new directory and I call it Git. Okay, I'll put my project name. For example, I'll just do portfolio as my project name. I press enter and then I'll change directory. You can see it has created folder called portfolio, and then I'll just change directory to portfolio, and now I am inside the portfolio. So now we said that to initialize a repository, you use the command git init. So I'll just do git init and press enter, and then you can see Git has initialized an empty repository. That so when I go into this folder, it is an empty folder. So it has been initialized. So now I will do something here, and I'll just put something, and I just say echo. I want to put something inside the folder, and just do hello git. And then I'll create a text file inside that folder. I'll just say hello. I'll say hello.txt, and then I'll press enter. So when I go back to my portfolio, you can see it has created a file, a text document called hello.txt. And then after that, I can now do git add, and then I'll add that file, which is hello.txt. Remember, if you have many files, you can use that. So it's saying, warning, the working copy of hello.txt will be replaced by that. Now it has touched it. So after that, I can do git commit, then dash, which is the message. Then I write my message. I did hello.txt file. So you can see root commit has been added to the txt file. So now we can now switch to a new branch, and you can see here it shows master. That means that is the branch we are working on. It's master. So we'll check what branches we have. We can just do git branch, and then it shows that we have one branch, master. So if you want to create a new branch, we can say git branch and then the branch name, which I'm going to call maybe feature. Press enter. Then when I do again git branch, you can see now I have two branches, which is feature and master, and the master is marked green because it's simply the branch that we are currently working on. So if I want to switch to the feature branch, I'll just do git checkout to the feature branch. I just do feature, full of spellings, that. Then you can see we have switched to the branch feature. Now here also you can see from the terminal, it shows that we are working on the branch called feature. So now after, let's maybe switch back. Let's do git checkout to master. Sorry, that was a spelling, master. So I'll just do git checkout master. So we are back to the master branch. So we need to push changes to our remote repository. So now to do that, we need to create that repository. If we don't have a repository, you make sure that we create one. So to create a repository, we are going to head over to GitHub. I'll open my browser. So to create a new repository, I will just go here on my account, then my repositories. Then from here, I'll see new repository. So I'll click on new, Then I'll just do Git. Okay, it was called portfolio. Okay, and maybe I'll write a description. Portfolio. So I will just click on create repository. So after creating a repository, I'm going to copy this. This is the link that I have to copy. I'll copy this. After copying it, you can see it's telling us to do git init, blah, blah, blah. We have already done that step. So we are going back here to our terminal. Then we are going to do git remote. Because we want to push it to the remote, we're going to do add origin. Then I will paste the link here for the repository that we created and press enter. After that, after adding that, we are going to do git push. We are pushing to upstream and origin master spelling. Perfect. Now you see our work has been pushed to GitHub. Now when I come here on GitHub and refresh this page, you can see our hello.txt is right here. And you can see the message that we put is called hello Git. So basically, guys, this is how to work around Git, and you need to have the basic understanding of Git working in the command line before you even start using GitHub Desktop. Like you see the one I have here. This is just basic for you. And if you have any questions about Git, be sure that you ask and always come back and rewatch this. I don't know what else I talked about, but this is basically how you can use Git, how you can set up Git on your computer. Then once again, to install Git, just go to Git SCM, SCM, is it that? Yes, Git SCM, which is this. Then you can look for the version that you're using, like I mentioned here. Then you can download for Windows if you're using Windows like me. So this is the link and it's gonna be right in the chat. So thank you for tuning in and I hope to see you soon. If you have any specific live stream you want to watch, be sure that you subscribe to the channel and then also suggest what you want to hear about, what you want me to talk about. For this specific channel, I talk about only programming and I'm excited to meet you guys all. See you in the next one. So for today, have a wonderful day.